Oh, now it's working. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Casual EAL stream on Twitch here. Welcome to the very first match of Season 5. We're very excited to present this to you, and it's actually early. They scheduled the match early. We have the Silverbacks versus MouthfeeL. Silverbacks taking blue side for game 1, MouthfeeL taking the red side for game number 1 here. I'm a Scattercat. I'm going to be your color commentator for this game, and with me is Willis. Do you want me to say her whole name, or just is Willis okay?
Oh, Willis is perfectly acceptable, and I'll be your play-by-play caster for what is surely going to be a very exciting game.
Oh, yeah. We have two veteran teams here. Neither of these teams are a rookie team. So should be full of some exciting plays. Hopefully they've been practicing, leading up to today. Or, maybe because we're all adults in the pandemic, maybe working from home has given us more time to practice. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll see how good these two teams are here in the very first match of the season. I'm pretty excited. Having seen Gelati and Tuba and, their team here, all of their players, in the past, I kind of know what their play style is. And same thing with, the other team here. We got Vrivnev. I've watched him a few times here on stream, so I know how good he can be. I'm pretty excited to watch these two face off. Is there anything that you, Willis, are specifically looking forward to in this matchup?
I'm really looking forward to seeing how what was Hanging with Friends last season, now MouthfeeL, does with their new support player, Ionia.
Yeah.
His introduction now in the support, I've played a lot of games with him, and the way he does support is definitely going to complement their play style. He's a very proactive support player, and he is very dominant with helping out the team, whether it's roaming or dominating the bot lane.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that proactive playstyle when it comes to supports, because in the laning phase, supports really determine the pacing of laning phase, what happens during laning phase down in the bot lane. And there's something to be said about being aggressive, and then there's too aggressive, where your team is paying for the aggression. So maybe Ionia will have that down, and he'll be walking that fine line, between being way too aggressive and just the right amount, where it gives their bot lane a huge advantage.
Exactly. And coming up into it, now we have obviously a whole new item system as compared to the last season of CEAL. This is obviously going to be the first game with the whole new item system. So I'm very interested to see how much that's going to affect these players, how much they've actually prepared for with this new item system.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at some of the players here, because Ornn was a big champion for last season of CEAL, and last season, like in general, in League of Legends ranked play. And I wonder if because of the mythic items here, changing how Ornn's passive works, I wonder if Ornn's just going to fall down the list a little bit in terms of priority for both of these teams.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
go
going
ahead.
to be interesting. Having watched most of the games last season, there probably wasn't many games without the Ornn. So opening up that slot for other top lane choices, it's going to be very interesting.
So yeah, the two teams are still kind of getting ready here in their lobby. Getting ready for pro draft here. And I'm just kind of curious and looking over here. Are there any contested picks that we should be looking forward to seeing banned or picked for either team? Any big priority picks between the two teams? I mean, obviously, right now I can talk about AD carry. Crit champions aren't really in right now. Lethality is more effective at the moment. So I think we should be looking for both teams to pick up on champions like Jhin or Misfortune, which we've seen in houses that the pros have been playing, where it's basically been Jhin and Misfortune for most of the games in the bot lane for either team. So I think we can look forward to that here as well. We might get some pocket picks as well. I know Swain's seen a little bit of play done in the bot lane for AP champions. I see that on some. I see that for some of these players. I see that we have an Ivern being pretty popular over on the side of the Silverbacks. They really like the Ivern jungle on one of their players. So I want to see some interesting picks out of these teams. I want to see some really interesting team comps come out of this.
Yeah, I expect to see most likely considered for the Silverbacks bans. Uh, like you're saying, the Jhin. The Jhin is obviously extremely powerful these days. Uh, and taking away what is Rixie's most played champion, there's something to be said for just sort of taking that comfort pick right out of their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're about ready for the pro draft to start here. It looks like both teams are lined up in the lobby, so hopefully any second here we'll get the pro draft going.
Now, do you expect let's while the players are still getting set up for the mid lane, any bans you think are going to come across for any mid lane champs?
I'd have to think about that one for a little bit here. I guess in mid lane right now we got Vrivenov. He plays the Anivia quite a bit, and I don't know that Anivia is that popular of a champion. So I think that would be super cool to see him pull that out for the pro draft. Oh, hey, but we have bans coming out. We got Rek'Sai being banned by the Silverbacks. We got Lulu being banned by MouthfeeL. Rek'Sai has actually gotten a pretty good win rate right now in the early parts of the season, so that is not a surprising ban. Samira. Okay, Samira's a bit annoying and out in the bot lane. That makes sense.
MouthfeeL banning Gnar. Notably,
yeah.
That's Tuba. Tuba plays a lot of Gnar.
It's true, but so does the top laner for Silverbacks, Nizbone. He plays Gnar and Kled a lot. It's between those two champions for like the one that he plays the most often. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Kled banned as well, since they already targeted one of his champions. Nope, they instead are hovering Graves. They do lock in the Graves ban as well. Jhin locked in right away. Like we were talking about, he's a very high priority AD carry pick right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how MouthfeeL's going to respond, whether they're going to also lock in their AD carry or they're going to try to take away one of the other high priority roles.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to lock in your AD carry at this point because, Misfortune will be the other top AD carry pick. Oh, but it looks like they do want to go for Ivern.
And they will.
Yeah, Ivern being the jungler that sorry, I'm going to script their jungler's name here in a second. So Slowed, the jungler for Silverbacks, plays a lot of Ivern, so maybe they decided to just take that away from them, so it acts as a ban and a pick at the same time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see on the side of MouthfeeL who is comfortable playing Ivern.
Yep, and the Yuumi gets locked in. Yuumi's just annoying as hell. We all know this from playing against her in ranked in normal games. She's just an annoying champion to go up against. And yep, they're going to go for Kled because they do not want to risk having the other top laners pick getting banned here as well. Kled's also not a bad champion right now. We didn't see a lot of him last season, but he's not bad right now. He's okay at the moment. Yeah, Leona's a good support pick to pair up with Kled because Kled goes in with his ultimate. Leona can run right after him, throw down her ultimate, and her just engage with her E and Q combo. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be a very strong bot lane for the Silverbacks. The Jhin Leona is definitely going to be tough for MouthfeeL to compete with.
Yep. Oh, the Cho'Gath. Okay, so I'm not very familiar with top lane matchups. I don't play top lane all that often. Between Kled and Cho'Gath, how do you feel that top lane matchup is going to go for both of these teams?
I think it's really going to come down to if it is this Kled Cho'Gath. It's going to come down to a lot of sort of mechanical skill on the player's side. Whether or not they're actually fully familiar with the matchup, which I'm more than going to guess that both these players are experienced enough. Um, I
Okay.
do really like the Kled pick, though. You know, obviously getting one of your most comfortable champions is a big buff.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. I like the Ezreal ban coming out of Silverbacks because whether or not MouthfeeL prioritizes Ezreal and Yumi is always a matchup in the bot lane. Like you pair Ezreal and Yumi up all the time if you're playing, with a duo partner in the bot lane or whatever. So I feel like that's a good ban from their side. Zoe. Ooh, okay. So it feels like MouthfeeL with the Ionia and the Zoe pick. Like if this was my team, we would have picked those two bands just based off of no way in hell do we want to play against those two.
Yeah, Yone is really strong right now. His ability to just tower dive with certain item builds makes him a very tough champion to beat.
Yeah, and they ban another 80 carry pick with Misfortune. I would say that after Jhin, she is the next most powerful lethality 80 carry in the game. So I feel like that's also a good ban. They're kind of trying to guarantee that Jin's going to be able to bully whoever he's up against down in the bot lane. That's kind of what they're going for here with these last two picks.
Yeah, which if we follow a lot of the last, Sivir.
Ooh, that's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that pick. So,
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm still trying to wrap my head around why Sivir Yumi down in the bot lane here. Like that just seems really strange and interesting to me because Sivir's spell shield only works against one spell. So if she mistimes that, she's still going to get stunned or snared down in the bot lane between Jhin and Leona. She has to play that lane really carefully.
We do see a Lilia pick coming in for the Silverbacks. That's another sort of tough bit thrown in there for the Sivir to deal with. Is this Lilia coming in and disrupting the lane?
Yeah, and the Orianna locking that in too, that is an incredible ball delivery system with Kled.
Yeah,
so
now we have to see exactly what they're going to lock in for Gelati in the mid lane.
It's probably gonna be. I mean, whatever Gelati picks here has to be the carry. It has to be the carry for the team because Sivir's not a hyper carry anymore like she used to be. Like she can still pump out damage. It's just that it's not quite what it used to be because of where the items are at down in the bot lane right now.
He's
okay,
going over the Karthus, and he locks in the famous Gelati Karthus.
Karthus has the damage. He does have the potential. I don't blame him for it. And it also doesn't matter if he dies in the middle of a team fight because he can still lay damage down for a few seconds after he dies. So you know what? I can't blame him for locking that in. But just looking at the two team comps that we have here, I gotta say I favor what Silverbacks has. I really like the team comp that they put together here.
I have to agree. Silverbacks, obviously, they knew what they wanted going into this, and they got all they wanted. They locked in their priority picks, and they locked in their priority bans, and they had a team comp that synergizes extremely well together.
Yeah, I mean, you got Leona going in to stun some people up. You got Kled rolling in with his ultimate, and you got Lilia who just prances around, and all three of them make an excellent ball delivery system for Orianna's ultimate to just go into the middle of the enemy and just completely decimate them. And then you have Jhin on the backline who can just stay super safe and far away and just throw that ultimate down on the other team. And really, because of how MouthfeeL drafted their champs here, they don't really have anybody that's capable of diving the backline to get to Jhin. Jhin is pretty much going to be safe almost all the time during these team fights, unless they horribly misplay. So I gotta feel like MouthfeeL. Phrasing. I feel like with MouthfeeL here, they don't have an easy way of breaking up Silverback's team or making them misplay a team fight. And MouthfeeL has to play just a lot more carefully and a lot more reserved until they find their moment. And that can be challenging for a lot of teams. We even see it in the LCS or the LEC. Even professional players have a hard time going up against this sort of a team comp here that Silverbacks has.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, Honestly, I'm not one to really favor an Ivern jungle. I feel like Ivern jungle in a lot of matchups is very rough, and especially in this matchup, the Lilia, I feel like is going to be almost free to gank lanes, while this Ivern is just going to have to focus early on, trying to farm up and get up there to be able to help defend his team.
Yeah, I mean, MouthfeeL can definitely still pull this off. I'm not trying to be too negative on them. It's just that the reality of the situation is that it is just more difficult. And yes, they have good players on their team. They have Gelati in the mid lane, who, we've seen him do some really great plays in the past. We've got Mean Muggin in the jungle, which he's he's got some moves. He's got some. Oh, sorry, Mayor of Huevos in the jungle, and he's got some moves. He's got some stuff that he can pull off here. Tuba in top lane is, I would say, he's kind of a wild card. You never know exactly how well he's going to play, but we've seen him. Absolutely dominate in the past. Rixie and Iama down in the bot lane here with Sivir and Yumi. I'm hoping that they can stay safe. I'm hoping that neither of them dies early. I'm hoping that the healing from the Yumi and the spell shield from Sivir helps them stay in lane and helps them actually stay even in CS. But it's just so oppressive what we see here from Silverbacks. They just want to go in and fight all the time, especially early, because the later the game goes, the more powerful Karthus is going to be.
Exactly. But if any group of players can take advantage of openings and keep their minds together, I really think MouthfeeL is the group of players that can do this.
Yep. So I have to ask here, we see some interesting team names from some of the teams here. And MouthfeeL is an interesting team name. And I have to wonder what food they were eating when they decided that that would be the name of the team,
Now, I've heard some of the story, and I believe it was during a late night session, and they were talking about the mouthfeel of some particular food, and I can't remember what it was, but those late night drinking sessions can lead to some funny team names.
Now, I mean, like, I watch a lot of cooking shows because I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan, and so I would hope that it's some absolutely delicious meal that they were eating when they came up with that team name. Silverbacks being the second team in the league that has their team name after an ape or a monkey of some kind. So that's a thing. They're going for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to the season in general. I'm so happy that we're finally here after, a month of preparing for this and teams forming and signing up. I'm really excited to get this season underway. And what better way to get the season underway than by having a game from Ionia division as our very first game on the stream? Really, really pumped to see these two teams play.
Exactly. Last season, we saw a lot of great games from the Ionia division, and I'm sure this is not going to let us down.
So yeah, just waiting for spectator delay to go down. Chat. If you are watching this game and if you want to put your predictions down for who wins the game, please type into chat either hashtag Silverbacks or hashtag MouthfeeL, and let's see where everybody watching the stream is at for who they want to win this game or who they think will win this game. Either way, actually, stream host, do we have the ability to put a poll in chat for people to vote on? Oh, we don't have that capability yet. Okay. All right. Well, I tried. We'll just go with the hashtags for now. Yeah, we're getting there. So yeah, I guess I'm most interested to see how bot lane goes, just because I don't know what to think about the Sivir Yumi compared to the Jhin Leona. I'm very interested to see how that pans out. Is there a matchup that you're very interested in watching here as we get into the game, Willis?
Yeah, as important as the bot lane is, I'm gonna find myself very interested in this mid lane matchup between Gelati and Vrivnev, the Oriana versus the Karthus.
All right, we'll see you in game, everyone. All right, we're here on the loading screen getting into the game. I'm just checking on everybody's mastery on their champions, and of course, it's all pretty high.
Yeah, as we said, these are all experienced veterans.
So, I'm gonna make sure that we are synced up so that we are, uh, so that when you're calling play by play, I can actually see the play by play. I'm now officially going.
Yep, I'm at. I am all loaded in. The players are all spawned.
Okay, I'm at 10 seconds.
Yep,
11, 12.
12.
Okay, so we need to get to 15.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, we are all synced up now. Sorry about that, everybody watching the stream. Just want to make sure that what we're calling out is exactly what you're seeing out there, just to reduce the amount of confusion as much as possible here.
Yeah, and to start things off, we see both teams rolling up in 5-mans into both opposing jungles, throwing down wards, and hoping to start off with picks, but nothing seems to come to fruition. But most notably, Silverback has thrown down 2 wards in the topside jungle, and MouthfeeL only got 1 ward down.
Yeah, it'll still be enough to let them know that Lilia's doing red buff, and in fact, they are pinging it right now. So they are fully aware of where she is and what she's doing. So both teams should be able to start tracking the junglers after this moment and tracking their pathing.
Yes, we see Ivern started topside. They'll obviously have that information. Now he's going to immediately go and start to invade Lilia's topside jungle.
Yeah, but they did even ward their own blue buff. They were actually like smart and kind of expected that he would be going there. And Gelati is just bullying this Orianna in the mid lane early on.
These are the exact Karthus plays that we need to see out of Gelati. And this is why, for so many seasons, he's had Karthus banned no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, some people just have that, you know, that pocket pick champ that they can do no wrong with, and that's Gelati's champ right there. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, as we see Lilia now invading Ivern's blue. But Ivern's walking down. He's got a good feel for this, and he's going to try to stop out Lilia. He's chasing after Lilia, running around, popping her Q, and
Bot lane's coming up.
Out of there. Yeah, we now see the Leona, but the Sivir and the Yumi are distracting him. The Jin's being cut off from the Leona, but the Leona is running in and out to the support her Lilia, missing her hook crucially now. The Ivern's getting chased out. He's at low health, and the Leona will land the killing blow. Gelati making his way down now. Orianna just ahead of him. The Yumi and the Sivir are forced to try and play around this. They're going to try to stop it, but they get there just a little bit too late as Lilia is going to claim that blue buff. And now
as that's all going on, there's a kill in the top lane. Oh, man.
What a game from both sides. This is the style of nonstop action that we want to see.
I'm used to seeing this in the lower elo brackets here. I'm used to seeing fighting like this in Noxus or Demacia.
Leona going in on the Sivir and the Yumi, starting to land some stuns. Jhin throwing out a lot of damage. This is exactly what we were talking about. The Leona being a brick wall, as well as a lot of CC, means that this Jhin is just allowed to land unopposed damage.
Yeah, and you know, the Yumi is working out better than I expected because she's gonna be healing that Sivir up until they're ready
Ivern
to try
coming
to
down,
fight again.
Ashford onto the Jin. Sivir's running up. Yumi onto the Ivern now. They're really flash off of the Jin. Is he gonna get away with the
Ooh.
flash off the Sivir? Guarantees the kill. Lily is down here now, so they gotta turn and get out of there before the getting is good.
All right, excellent. That is great news for MouthfeeL here. Keeping the Jin down as much as possible is just going to be amazing for that Sivir. She needs to get a few items on her before she can actually stand up to him in a straight up fight. So getting Ivern down there was paramount to that success.
Yeah, that early kill is going to guarantee Sivir a small CS lead, as well as the gold from the kill alone.
And both of the mid laners are low on mana right now, so it's kind of a wet noodle fight in the mid lane at the moment.
Yeah, we do see Ivern starting to path over, taking the scuttle. Orianna in a bad position for him to really try and do anything, so he's going to start pathing back into the Lilia jungle.
Yeah, and Vrevenev doesn't want to recall here because, you know, he's got the wave pushing into his tower, doesn't want to miss any of the CS, but you know, the longer he stays, the worse off he's also going to be just because he really needs to get that mana back.
Exactly, and Gelati is relentless now, finally backing off now that the wave's been cleared.
All right. Will Vrevenev recall too? Yep. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, actually going to push the wave a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gelati's still going to be able to bully Orianna then in the mid lane when he returns, just because he'll be back in lane before Orianna's back in lane. The bullying's just going to continue here.
Kled up in the top lane, throwing a ward down on the tri-bush. This is going to be tough now for Ivern, as Lilia is now charging up. They're going to go for the gank on the two, but Cho'Gath gets chased. Lilia throwing out a lot, but the Cho'Gath is just going to get to the tower in time. Ivern pathing up, but they've obviously seen it as he stepped through their warded bush.
Yep, still just constant fights, little skirmishes happening around the map here. Like I wonder if this game is ever going to calm down for us. But yeah, the Sivir down in bot lane. Oh, excellent spell shield there. Good job. Don't know if that actually missed or if that was the spell shield coming through. It was kind of hard to tell. Okay, just
down. It looks like July is going to come in support for a tower dive onto the Jin. Jin's walking up. He's going to try to throw down a snare into the bush. Karthus will slow down onto the Jin. Sivir going up, but not fully in position by that time.
And we do see that Sivir is up. She's up in CS here. A solid, 15 CS lead. And she's trying to, make that an even bigger gap between the two of them by just pushing the minions into the tower.
Yeah, and they do both have down in the bot lane. Both the Sivir and Yumi are at 5. The Leona's still on 4, so that's a good level advantage to go with the CS and the item advantage that the Sivir has.
Oh, another fight up in top lane here.
Yeah, Cho'Gath going in on this Kled. Kled is at level 6. Cho'Gath finally hitting level 6, and they're going to get the kill onto Snizbone.
I mean, with the Karthus ultimate coming in there, Kled was dead no matter what was going to happen, but at least Tuba gets a stack on his passive thanks to eating him before that Karthus ultimate finished.
Yeah, now he's going to be free to most likely claim a plate. Kled's TP is still down.
Oh, Orianna, you're just getting bullied in mid now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is exactly the style of gameplay we see from Gelati on a consistent basis. And the fact that he got his pocket champion, Karthus, is just going to help enable it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy how much Orianna's been getting bullied this game. And it's through no fault of Rivenev. It's not that Rivenev is playing poorly. It's just that Gelati has so much experience on this Karthus and his level of comfort is so high.
Yeah,
I'm sure his confidence is through the roof on that champion.
The style of play here, he's definitely not afraid of dying so long as he's getting these kills. And it's disrupting Rivenev, who is doing his best to hold on and maintain some level of CS and advantage.
Yep. His job right now is just to hold on until team fights, because once team fights are happening with Kled and Leona going in, he can get that ultimate off that completely turns a team fight around in their favor.
Yeah, we do see the Lilia getting chased by the Ivern. The Karthus wall under the Lilia. Daisy coming out, but they can't really make anything of it to the position. The Kled's making his way down. The Jhin and Leona are coming up. They're really going to try to fight this in the mid lane. They're chasing down the Ivern into the jungle. He's been rooted, and now we see he's getting knocked airborne, and Snizzbone going to claim the kill.
There it is. The ball
Karthus
delivery system comes through.
Flashing over the wall to get out of there alive.
And they're going to turn this around and get another objective out of this, too. They're going to get Dragon. Excellent decision-making there. Cho'Gath is pushing top lane in at the same time, but I don't think he's going to be able to finish off that tower. Nope, Kled's up there to stop him. So, yeah, nice turnaround there to get Dragon after the kill. Very good work by Silverbacks. And it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, the amount of gold that Tuba was able to get off of that plate and the CS is sort of canceled out by the kill that Kled got down there in the mid lane.
Yep. And that was the very first instance of the ball delivery system that we've been talking about since before the game started here. Kled goes in with the ultimate, Leona, Jhin come up to help out, and Lilia and Orianna work together to get that Ivern dead. Very nice play by Silverbacks. Hopefully we'll see more of that. Hopefully we'll see it in we got to fight.
Oh, Leona going in on the Sivir, the stun, locking out the ultimate, the root up. Jhin throwing down the ult, drowsy the Ivern, and now the Sivir is going to go down to the Lilia as well with the combination of the Jhin. Yuumi is left without someone to latch onto. He's going to have to hang around that tower and try to do what she can before just backing off ultimately. Meanwhile, though, Karthus is now free to sort of push and do some damage to this mid tower.
Yeah, but it's kind of the consolation prize. It's not nearly as good as what the Silverbacks were able to get out of it. You know, a couple of tower plates maybe at most, but yeah, I guess every little bit counts, right? So
yeah.
But they were able to make the gold difference basically even. You know, MouthfeeL had about 1,000 gold lead prior to that last fight down in bot lane, and now it's about even. So, you know, they could turn this around and start getting a gold lead themselves if they keep making plays like they just made.
Leona now has started roaming the map. She's hanging out near mid because she looks like she wants to try to make a play onto the Karthus, but she was spotted taking out a ward. And now she's going to ultimately begin to rotate back down to the bot lane. We do see Lilia up top, hang out in the bush. Kled's going to come and try to bait the Cho'Gath. But the Iverns run right into the Lilia. Daisy coming out down here in a river fight. We see Karthus coming up. The Cho'Gath here, knocking them both airborne. It looks like the Karthus wall is going to slow. They're going to get the kill onto the Lilia. They're still chasing the Kled, but now the Karthus has turned to peel onto that Orianna. And the Karthus is taking a lot of damage, being knocked airborne, but Ivern is finally here to back him up.
Man, I thought we were about to see a one-on-one Orianna kill on that Karthus. I was getting excited.
Yeah, that was a rough situation for Gelati, getting separated. The Kled also getting out of there. But the kill onto the Lilia, if anything, is going to help get the Cho'Gath back into the game a little bit more.
And it looks like MouthfeeL is trying to get they're trying to get Shelly up here. And they will actually get Shelly uncontested, which is great for them. They really need Shelly to help get a tower. I think they're going to drop a top right away to get the rest of that tower.
Yeah, and they do. We do see the Rift Herald dropped by Ivern up in the top lane. Now he's going to go and steal that blue buff. But in the bot lane, we see a 4-man rotation down to the bot. Looks like they would really want to try to make a play here onto the Sivir. We see the Leona coming in. Jhin popping his ult well. They're all onto the Sivir. Yuumi getting stunned and is now going to go down as well.
Yep.
A 2-man kill in the bot lane.
And that's another thing that we said before the game even started. You know, Sivir's spell shield is only going to be able to block one thing. So if they keep piling on Sivir like that, she's not going to stop all the CC.
Shelly gonna get one more charge in, it looks like, onto this tower. As Orianna has made her way up top, but it looks like the tower will fall to the Cho'Gath. Karthus died in the mid lane to a combination of the Kled and the Lilia.
Ooh.
But thanks to his passive, they both had to respect that and back off. They weren't really able to push up against that tower.
Yeah, so the gold is still basically even here, but the teams just keep
Daisy
fighting.
coming down in the bot lane. Ivern going in. They're rooting onto the Jhin. Jhin flashing, trying to get out of there. They're really chasing down. Sivir is trying to focus down this Jhin while the Ivern deals with the Leona, but the Lilia is now here to help. But so is the Yuumi. Sivir turning around onto the Lilia. The Lilia goes down really fast to that Sivir damage. Cho'Gath made his way down here as well, and now it looks like they're going to try to push and take this bot tower.
They should be able to get this tower. Jin's backing off. Orianna's not going to make it there in time to stop them. This should be first tower. Or no, sorry, third tower. I keep forgetting that their team is already bursted down 2 of them in top lane thanks to Shelly.
Yeah. As much as these team fights have seemed to be going towards Silverbacks, MouthfeeL is making a lot of advantage of them constantly rotating into these 4 and 5 mans by taking towers when they can. As we see now, second dragon coming up. MouthfeeL is going to pretty much take this uncontested.
Yeah, and the gold lead that we see for MouthfeeL is almost entirely from the towers that they've taken.
Yeah. In fact, MouthfeeL's taken this gold lead, and Cho'Gath's already completed his mythic item, going for the Frostfire Gauntlet.
Yeah, we're seeing some early item leads here in a couple of spots on the map. We're also seeing that Yuumi has picked up her mythic item, but Leona has not. So yeah. I don't know if that's a typical Leona build to start with that item first, or maybe that was a situational decision.
Yeah, we do see a lot of rotations around Karthus and Orianna fighting it off down in the bot lane now. While we do see what looks to be about to be a brawl in the topside jungle. Sivir and Yuumi are backing out of there. While there's a 4-man, now a 3-man, headed top towards Cho'Gath. Jhin headed back down to the middle, but the Cho'Gath's been caught. He's being put to sleep by the Lilia, rooted, stunned, and he flashes over the wall. Tuba trying to get out of here, but the Kled's chasing him down. He's going to most likely get the kill and will confirm it. Ivern just a little late to save Tuba, as they're now being forced to back out of there again.
Yeah.
The entire topside jungle being cleared.
So yeah, you know, we saw that MouthfeeL wanted to make a rotation to help out Cho'Gath, but they were just too late in making it there. So don't know if that was communication or if that was, you know, a split decision that they were making that caused such a delay. But either way, good work on Silverbacks for making that play happen. And it looks like they're going to take out top tower here as well.
Yeah, Ivern actually coming in to save the top tower.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to hold it. So, so one thing I want to point out here about the builds, we're seeing Kled here still doesn't have a mythic item built. And we also see that he has plated steel caps, even though the top lane that he's fighting against here is an AP champion. So that's a little weird, a little awkward, I guess. But I guess that's what he's decided to build this game. I really hope that like this is a typical Kled build to go Ravenous Hydra before you get your mythic item built, because otherwise I feel like that's a weird decision. I mean, because I expect the Iron Spike Whip is for Gore Drinker, so I don't know why he wouldn't have just finished it, you know?
Yeah, it's really not even too expensive to finish it out. I'm curious why he went Ravenous Hydra first.
Yeah. Also, Yuumi with boots. I don't know. Feel like she doesn't typically need boots, but I guess she decided to build some boots.
Karthus chasing down the Orianna and the Lilia. The Lilia is probably going to get out thanks to her speed, but she turns around to buy time for this Orianna. Karthus trying his best to not get knocked out first, but the Ivern is going to fall because of that.
Okay, there's the Karthus ultimate.
Going for the ult. Oh. Is it going to be enough? No! Orianna just escaping with a sliver of health.
Sad. So sad. He tried. He tried very hard.
Yeah, we do see Cho'Gath in the top lane. He's starting to become a big boy. The Kled forced to really just hang around and stay in XP range on his own. It doesn't look like he wants to compete against this Cho'Gath in a one-on-one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see some of the items that are coming out of these champions. Leandri's off of Karthus makes perfect sense, while the Luden's Echo on Orianna also makes perfect sense. Gale Force on Jhin is so good on him. Very excited to see that. He's probably going to be going, seeing as he has a Cloak of Agility in his item inventory, he's probably going for an Infinity Edge next. Sivir on the Sivir, on the other hand, with a Zeal, Phantom Dancer, I guess, is that's my guess for what she's doing for her next item. Probably a Phantom Dancer here. Give her a little bit more survivability in these engages where she keeps getting killed.
We do have Dragon up in 15 seconds. As we see, MouthfeeL started making their way over. And Silverbacks, the Jhin and Leona were already here, but now they've had to back off as Karthus ends Sivir and Yuumi. They're actually getting targeted out in the mid lane. It looks like they've been knocked out. They've been rooted. They flash over to the wall. I'm going to get out here. Most likely, the Jhin ult is not going to be able to get her. The Cho'Gath is going in for the fight. He's frontlining and tanking for the fight. Ivern is getting damaged. The Yuumi damage coming in, but the Ivern will fall. Cho'Gath is going to return the kill onto Leona. Gelati nailing the Lilia. Lilia, in turn, will kill the Karthus, but he's still able to throw damage onto the Orianna. And Cho'Gath is trying his best, is going to get the Jhin. And now it's just Yuumi being chased out by a Kled. Will Yuumi be able to get to the tower in time to stay alive? No. The Kled, last man standing.
Oh, man, what a fight that was. Oh, holy. Okay, I just want to point out some really great stuff there. First of all, the Great Escape starring Sivir and Yuumi to get out of that initial engage. Well done by them. And then well done by the rest of MouthfeeL coming in to back them up, keep them safe so that they can win this fight. And they almost did. They almost turned it around. But
yeah, we see the TP off of Orianna, gonna try to keep the Ivern out, but the Ivern's gonna come in and try to get a steal, but they've turned and killed him, and now they're basically free to take this dragon. There's no smite on the side of MouthfeeL. Sivir coming in is gonna get the shutdown onto the Kled, and the dragon does fall to Silverbacks. It was almost a steal for MouthfeeL.
I can't blame Sivir for going for that.
The cost of both the Ivern and the Sivir for the attempt at the steal, and now the Cho'Gath has been singled out, is getting CC'd locked. They're going over the wall to try and save Cho'Gath, and they will.
Yeah, Tuba, I love you, man, but you were way ahead of your team in getting there, and also probably not a good idea to filter in like that after you've already lost Sivir to a bunch of them there. But you know what? You end up living, your team saves you. And finally, we're seeing Silverbacks have a gold lead in the game. They're the ones with the gold lead now.
We do see MouthfeeL is going to try and start up the Baron. It looks like Silverbacks are onto this. They are aware of Rivniv has made their way over there and is going to start doing some damage on the Karthus. Kled also here is in a good position. They're really trying. They're locked onto this Baron. Rivniv going to get the Ivern. They're going to shut down Gelati. They get the Baron, but only 3 members are up.
Oof.
And now only 2 members. Just the Sivir and the Cho'Gath. But the Cho'Gath is going to get shut down by Rivniv. And now the Sivir is going to fall.
Oh, man.
As well, the double kill for Rivniv. Correct.
So that was absolutely heartbreaking. They tried so hard to burn that Baron down before Silverbacks could respond, and oh man, they almost had it. You know, Cho'Gath eating it at the very end there.
I'm not sure if they were aware that Silverbacks knew that they were there, or they just did not care and that they were all in on the Hail Mary.
Yeah. 1,000 gold lead now for Silverbacks. They're starting to break away from MouthfeeL, especially after getting all those kills there near the Baron pit. I would like to also point out that Sivert is starting to deal some good damage here. She's at a point where she's finally dealing some nice damage. She could potentially carry the team in some of these fights, depending on how they go, along with Karthus.
Yeah, MouthfeeL is going to claim that middle outer tower and are going to back off before Silverbacks can group up to respond to it.
Now, the saving grace here for MouthfeeL is that Cho'Gath has the potential to get to be a really big, beefy boy, and Kled doesn't really have that potential.
Sivert and Ivern have walked into the Kled at the top. He's going to get the tower, and they're both going to back off, instead start turning around. But the Orianna pathing through the jungle alongside the Lilia, Leona, and Jhin, who are making their way up the mid. They've got a strong push going on right now. And they're spread out along a line where they can respond to any sort of fight. And it looks like MouthfeeL's going to lock in on that Orianna in the top lane. The Kled's there as well. Cho'Gath is going to try to chase out that Kled, while the Ivern flashes, misses the root, but throws Daisy out there. Orianna's going to get out of there safe and sound.
They hoped, but it wasn't enough. Orianna actually gets to escape. The speed boost at the end is probably the speed boost that she was putting in there at the end really helped her out a lot there in escaping that fight.
Yeah, now MouthfeeL is just really forced to stay close to each other. That way they can reinforce any fight that starts to go down. As we do see the Cho'Gath and the Ivern once again going to lock into this top lane and try to take down this Kled. They are silencing and rooting him, and they are doing a lot of damage to him. He's going to flash over the wall, but here come the Sivert and the Karthus, but he's going to get over another wall as well. He might have enough time to get out of here. The rest of Silverbacks is coming up. MouthfeeL, knowing what they had to do, is going to not chase down the Kled. They're going to turn and go onto the 4-man.
Which is smart. It's a 5v4 if they're all there. They can pull this off.
Yeah, Cho'Gath is front lining for this. Gonna go and try to do some damage onto the Jhin. Kled's made his way over here thanks to a TP, and he's going into root the asleep. They shut down Jelani, but he's still able to do a lot of damage. And we see the Karthus all coming up. Is it going to be enough to do a lot of damage? We see the Zhonya's popped for the Lilia. And they're going to get out of there safe and sound. On the sides of Silverback, they lost the Leona. That is Vision Lord. And Gelati on the side of MouthfeeL fell. But now, the 4th Drake is up. And Silverbacks are in a dominant position to take this. MouthfeeL just has to give up this. And this is so huge, because this is now sole point for the Silverbacks. MouthfeeL now has to contest any dragon that comes up. And the Silverbacks could instead just go and take Baron.
So they almost killed Kled and Jhin with the Karthus ultimate. They almost got a double kill off of that, but they barely lived with a sliver of health. Some of these fights are so close in terms of some of the kills happening here that, like, if those kills had gone through, could have been a different fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, Silverbacks down in the bot lane. We see the Kled now going to start doing some split pushing. He's in a good position to be able to do this, as the enemy team just can't afford to send people out to go and deal with this right now. They have to lock on to the main bulk of Silverbacks, who are going to start. The Leona has dropped a control ward in the Baron pit, most likely to set up for a Baron take in the near future.
So one thing here that we can see happening with what Silverbacks are up to right now, we're seeing that Orianna has a bounty on her head. We see that Jhin has a bounty on his head. So that's one way that MouthfeeL can find their way back into this game. But at the same time, Silverbacks have been doing such an excellent job of keeping Jhin safe and keeping Orianna safe. I feel like they're kind of unkillable at this point, almost.
Yeah, we do see now Cho'Gath getting stunned out there. The Lilia almost in a good position there. Silverbacks are a 4-man, so they're going to back off. Even with their lead, they don't want to risk losing a 4v5 while Kled is up in the top lane, as Baron's coming up in 10 minutes. Because if you lose anyone in that 4v5, That's almost a guaranteed Baron. But regardless, MouthfeeL is setting up around the Baron pit.
Ooh,
But they're
Jhin
gonna
ultimate
turn.
activates.
Yeah, the Jhin is not gonna get. They're locking onto this Leona in the front. Oh, the CC lock off of the sides of the Silverback. They are gonna do a lot of damage to the front line, but they're getting broken through. The Jhin is down. The Leona is down. Cho'Gath is chasing down and eating the Lilia for breakfast. The Sivir is throwing her damage onto the Kled. The Orianna is trying to stop the Cho'Gath, but is this Cho'Gath going to be able to eat this Orianna? I think so, but the Orianna will flash over the wall. The Yuumi finally coming up to support the Cho'Gath.
Oh, no.
The Yuumi shut down onto the Orianna. As we see, the gold lead has almost disappeared now.
Yeah, that's the caster curse. We just made the caster curse happen. I just talked about how Orianna and Jhin seem to be almost unkillable because of how well Silverbacks is keeping them alive. And then, of course, they make a questionable decision of Jhin using his ultimate to open up. MouthfeeL immediately pounces on them. They kill the Jhin. They kill the Orianna on the tail end of the fight. And I'm sorry, Silverbacks, that I did that to you. My bad.
Yeah, Silverbacks being down a man know what's going down. They know that the Baron take is what's happening, but they have to stop this. They can't just let an uncontested Baron go through. The Leona trying to frontline throughout the CC, but is getting knocked up and getting burned down. Kled is forced to escape out of there. He's got the whole team on his heels, but they realize what they have to do. They're going to instead turn onto the Orianna, who finally teleported into the fight, but a little too late. The Jhin ult coming in. Are we going to see enough damage to kill anybody? The jukes, but the kill onto the Karthus player.
Man.
They are now going to try and start doing some damage. Cho'Gath and Kled duking it out in the front line. He's going to get put to sleep by the Lilia, and finally the damage from the Jhin is going to kill that Cho'Gath. Sivir and Yuumi going to get out of there. And the Baron is now open for Silverbacks.
Oh, wow. Just fight after fight. Extended fights going on left and right here. Neither of these teams wants to settle down. We have 49 kills in 31 minutes of the game right now. That's how action-packed this game has been.
Yeah, and now while we do have a lull in the fight, I think it's important that we take a brief minute and look over their item builds.
Will they give us a brief minute, though, is the question.
We can only hope so. Let's start off with the top lane. We see the Kled is now finished his Core Drinker, his Black Cleaver, and the Ravenous Hydra. While on the other side, Cho'Gath's finished off the Frostfire Gauntlets, Thornmail, and the Frozen Heart.
Yeah, making himself an excellent tanky frontliner for his team. The only one that his team has, actually.
And we've seen so far in those fights, he's done really well staying in there. But when he gets focused down by that Jhin with the Gale Force, Collector, and Rapid Fire Cannon, he goes down really fast. As we see a team fight now going down for the Dragon. Karthus gets targeted out right away by the Jhin, but the Kled's going to fall down as well. Karthus ult coming in, doing a lot of damage, and is going to force a lot of these players to back off, but the Lilia coming in and locking in onto the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath has to force out of there. The Ivern falls to Vrivniv, the Orianna ball delivery system. As now the Sivir gets shut down by the Jhin. The Yuumi getting stunned and killed by the Leona. Cho'Gath is also going to fall to the bot lane duo of Hui and Vision Lord.
Silverbacks, well done in that team fight, acing MouthfeeL and getting Ocean Soul for your team. Holy crap, what a fight.
Yeah, that was very brutal to watch if you are a fan of MouthfeeL, as there was a brief glimmer of hope there. But during that fight, as soon as the Kled went down and the Karthus went down, you could see MouthfeeL started to split. They didn't know which target to go after on the side of Silverbacks.
Yeah, and just excellent individual play on Silverbacks as well. Orianna got a good ultimate in that fight. Jhin throwing his ultimate in there, dealing a lot of damage to Cho'Gath so that, you know, the rest of the team could actually take him down. Very well done by Silverbacks. And now they have a 7,000 gold lead almost. It's insane how quickly their gold lead has risen.
all that effort on the side of MouthfeeL to bring the gold lead back to a tie is now gone. And they're going to have a bit harder time defending that middle inhibitor now without that tower.
Yeah, Cho'Gath's got to be a big tanky boy for the team, and the rest of the team has to do a good job of just focusing on taking out the Orianna, taking out the Jhin, unless Kled is getting on their faces and Lilia's getting on their faces, then they have to worry about that too. And Lilia did just steal the blue buff from Orianna, by the way, so probably an accident. I'm assuming that was an accident.
Yeah, Orianna gonna have to deal with it as she's gonna go up top lane. It looks like Silverbacks wants to try to start something in the top and take out this top turret.
Yeah, they have all the pressure right now. You know, they can afford to take extended team fights now and take it slow because of the Ocean Soul just helping them out.
Yeah, MouthfeeL realizes the danger. They're forced to both hole up here in the top lane, but stay within range to deal with this split pushing Kled, because now he can just run in after that inhibitor the moment that the guard is down. You can see the Sivir and the Yuumi just bouncing back and forth, trying to see which fight is a higher priority at any given moment. As we now see the fight is actually going to break down the Cho'Gath over the wall right into Lilia. The silence, the knock-up airborne, but they don't have a follow-up damage. And now the Jhin ult popping in. Cho'Gath is shielding every shot to protect his team.
Being a big old brick wall, that's his job.
As we see now, the issue with MouthfeeL's draft is even though they have that Cho'Gath to go in and start tanking and start things up, they have no follow-up to get behind the enemy line.
Oh, the big engage coming in.
Yeah, he's in the front. We see the Leona on the side of Silverbacks. Lilia coming in, putting the team to sleep, and is gonna start cleaning up. The Karthus went down. The Ivern went down. The double kill from Kled onto the Cho'Gath.
It looks like it's basically over at this point.
Yeah, MouthfeeL is hanging on by a thread, but the Silverbacks are not relenting. They know that they have to put in all the pressure, and they're gonna try and finish it. They're gonna go all in on the mid and try to take down these towers.
Orianna flashed in. She wanted to do a cute ultimate there to catch them, but accidentally just ulted herself.
Yeah, and now the Sivir and the Yuumi forced back onto the platform as the core falls to Silverbacks in game 1.
Wow, what a game. What a game 1 for the first match of the Casual Esports Amateur League Season 5. I would like to say that, both you and I did say at the beginning that we liked the team comp that Silverbacks had more than the team comp that MouthfeeL drafted for themselves. However, I think it is impressive how long MouthfeeL stayed in that game, how well they played up until the point where Silverbacks just started to win every single fight. That was a much closer game for more of that than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, even in the beginning of the game, we noted several times Gelati would not let off the brakes against Vrivnev. Vrivnev was doing all they could to hold on, but it was enough to carry into the late game where the Orianna was able to throw a lot of damage in those team fights. And the Karthus, as much damage as the Karthus is able to throw out, can't do what the Orianna can do in those fights and get in on the back line.
Yeah. Just looking at the post-game lobby here, looking at some of the stats, Lilia surprisingly did the most damage for Silverbacks. Kind of surprised that it's her that got it. I expected Jhin or Kled having the most damage, or even Orianna having the most damage because of some of those ultimates she was throwing down, but it's actually Lilia. So good job. That's one hell of a Lilia that they have on that team. Not surprising, though, that Karthus did the most damage in the entire game. Not surprising at all, considering that it's Karthus. He has a global ultimate, and that it is probably Gelati's best champion in his entire arsenal. Not surprised at all by how well he did that game in the damage charts.
Yeah, but you can see that it was not enough having his best champ.
Yep, not enough, not enough. I think they just needed to draft a different team around the Karthus if that was their plan. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give you a quick break. We'll give ourselves a quick break so that we can get a drink of water here, and we'll see you back in a little bit for game number 2. Welcome back, everybody, to the Casual Esports Amateur League. First match of Season 5 between Silverbacks and MouthfeeL. They've swapped sides for game number 2 here. So MouthfeeL is on the blue side, Silverbacks is on the red side. And after game number 1, the nonstop action that was game number 1, Silverbacks came on top like we both kind of thought they would, just looking at the team comps at the very beginning. So now the question is, how do these two teams adjust for game number 2? What changes do they make to their comps, or maybe the bans that they're throwing out here? What are your thoughts on that, Willis?
Well, I think starting things off, the easy things to point out are going to be from MouthfeeL. Having lost the game, and we saw MouthfeeL struggle throughout the entire game because of their team comp. They weren't able to properly engage in a lot of those team fights. They were fighting an uphill battle, trying to get through the front line that the Silverbacks put up. I think MouthfeeL's going to have to draft a more synergized team comp.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing that we can point out, right? Because Silverbacks team comp had a very clear identity. They wanted to just roll at you with Kled's ultimate, Leona and Lilia following up and just hitting you in the face, Orianna, Jhin being able to keep their distance, be safe, while also throwing out lots of damage with their ultimates and their abilities. So MouthfeeL kind of needs to have a better identity with their team comp for the second game, like you said. Now, Karthus could definitely still be in there. He could definitely still be a centerpiece for the team comp, but without the rest of the pieces lining up, it's kind of not worth it, you know? Like, even though it's Gelati's best champion, maybe a different mid laner to build around would work better for the Sivir and the rest of that team comp, or maybe they keep the Karthus, maybe they rebuild the rest of the pieces, who knows. But I'm very interested to see what they do, because if I was Silverbacks, I'd be so confident going into the second game, I wouldn't make too many adjustments. You know, I would think that the bans that we picked are basically worth keeping for the first 3 bans. Maybe you consider banning Karthus over, you know, the Olaf or the Samira or something, but otherwise I would be pretty confident in what the team did last time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, that's the only thing that I would consider banning, is that Karthus. Silverbacks dealt with it pretty well. I mean, yes, Rivnev did get bullied early game, but he carried on into the late game and was able to be very competent for his team throughout those team fights. But if they want to try to dominate the mid game throughout the entire game, then it's maybe worth considering banning that Karthus.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be afraid of it. You know, I would not hesitate to ban that for this second game. You know, the Sivir, the Yuumi did good. I was surprised by how well they did in the bot lane, but of course, Silverbacks, they just hit them with 4-man ganks down there. You know, I think it was twice that it happened in game number 1. They did a 4-man gank down in bot lane to disrupt what was going on. So, you know, I think if you're going to put Sivir in the bot lane with her spell shield, I think if you want to keep the Sivir, I think maybe you almost want to put a Morgana for her support so that you have more spell shields to protect her, right? I think Yuumi was kind of a good idea until the Ezreal and the Misfortune got banned, and then it was kind of a little bit rougher for them.
Exactly. I do think that MouthfeeL is going to have to look at possibly a different jungle pick. And if so, from what we've seen, looking at some of the players for Silverbacks, they might even want to consider just banning the Ivern, not letting them getting that, and building a team comp around it.
Yeah. So the draft is underway. We are going. MouthfeeL starts off with the Graves. No different from the last time so far. We got the Rek'Sai coming through. These bans were also in the first round of bans last time, but MouthfeeL changes it up. They banned the Lilia now.
Yeah, the Lilia came in and disrupted so many of those lanes and waves down in the bot lane that it's no wonder that they decided to just take it off the board.
Yeah, I can't blame them one bit. Silverbacks so far have not changed. The Rek'Sai and the Olaf were both banned in the first round of bans last time around. They skipped the Samira, though, so I have to think that the last ban is the Karthus ban coming in. I have to think that that is where they're going.
Yeah, maybe they want to see how MouthfeeL chooses, and they're going to choose the Lulu again.
Okay. Oh no, they thought Jin was the more important ban here because Silverbacks wants to make sure the MouthfeeL doesn't prioritize that for their first pick. I can respect that. That's a very smart way of thinking about the game because Jin is probably the #1 desired AD carry pick right now in the meta itself.
Yeah, considering MouthfeeL does have that first pick, you don't want to give that over to them. So taking it off the board, they have other options for who they can pick.
Oh, okay. The Gnar coming in. Okay. So, like we said last time, for Silverbacks, their top laner likes to play the Gnar and he likes to play the Kled. And rather than banning Gnar this time around, MouthfeeL has decided that they're just going to pick him right away. So, I'm very interested to see how Tuba plays Gnar.
Oh, looks like Silverbacks is looking over the Wukong. Very competent champion who can just come in and disrupt a team fight with his ultimate.
Yeah, it's so annoying to get hit by that Wukong ultimate. It's so maddening sometimes, especially on a really good flank. And based on how we saw Silverbacks play that last game, where they like to fight all the time, I don't think they ever stop fighting. Even the Wukong's a good pick for them.
Yeah, and now it's
okay, Leona. Okay, locked it in. Perfect. It worked out last time. Why not pick it again, right? And Leona pairing up with the Wukong for the stuns, for the knockups. It's that's a good combo pick for your first 2 picks.
Exactly. Silverbacks once again going in for a lot of CC early on in their draft.
Yep. I mean, CC, it's hard to beat a lot of CC. It's hard unless you're gonna buy some QSSs in there. It's hard to beat it. MouthfeeL going with Orianna. Interesting. Taking the Orianna away from Silverbacks, who played it last game. So they don't prioritize the Karthus this time, even though it did deal the most damage in the game last time. It looks like they want to go for a more team fight oriented comp, going for a much more solid identity for the team comp so far with the Gnar and the Orianna. Hopefully that continues with its next pick. Yes, it does continue with the next pick. Nunu and Willump. Orianna has 2 excellent ball delivery devices there with Gnar and Nunu. So yeah, it looks like they're going for a much more unified team comp, a much stronger identity in the team comp. Which is exactly what we would have expected from them for game number 2, like we already talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Silverbacks is looking over the Kai'Sa.
Okay.
That is a very powerful bot laner there with what they have so far.
Yep. But they change it. They change it to Echo. That's probably an Echo jungle if I had to guess, unless Vrivnev plays Echo in the mid lane. I wouldn't put it past him to play Echo in the mid lane. I know he's a good mid laner. So interesting. I'm really curious what the bans are going to be. Yep. Okay. So Silverbacks are going to ban more good AD carries like Misfortune because MouthfeeL didn't pick one yet. Very smart. I would assume that the Kai'Sa might get a ban here just because it was hovered for a little bit. So I don't know if that's a trap that they set up for MouthfeeL, or maybe I'm just way overthinking the mind games that Silverbacks is trying to play with them right now.
And speaking back onto the Vrivnev, it does look like in last season, he had quite a lot of games on the Echo. So this could very well be an Echo mid.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Knowing how good he is as a mid laner, I would not be surprised. And MouthfeeL does ban the Kai'Sa, even if that is a trap, even if that is a mind game by the Silverbacks. That's just a strong AD carry in general, so I don't blame them for even wanting to ban the Kai'Sa. Okay, so the ban is blank, but I would assume since they were hovering Ezreal that is a confirmed Ezreal ban. I will check in with the team. It is indeed a confirmed Ezreal ban. Probably just hit the submit button right as time ran out or something, so it glitched out on them.
And not surprising seeing them take away another AD carry away from MouthfeeL.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I don't think I've ever seen this many AD carries banned in a series before, so I think that's pretty interesting coming out of both teams. The final ban for MouthfeeL was Lucian, by the way. So that has officially been banned as well. So we have a total of 5 AD carries that have been banned out of 10 bans, which is the most AD carries I've ever seen banned for a game.
This is the battle of the bans for the bot lane.
Oh, locking in the Ornn. There he is. Coming in hot.
Yeah, that possibly. We'll see how effective he is now with the new item system compared to how effective he was last season.
Yeah. So just in case the audience doesn't know, would you like to explain the difference in Ornn's passive because of the item changes in case some people are unaware?
Now, I'm actually unaware myself.
Oh, okay. So I'll explain it. So Ornn can only upgrade mythic items now.
So it does limit him and changes the setup.
Yep, it does change it ever so slightly, but mythic items are already the most powerful items that anybody's going to build anyway. So overall, I don't think it makes Ornn's passive less good or anything like that. It's just different. So it's something that if you're not aware of that change, you just have to get used to it.
Morgana and Nico off the side of MouthfeeL.
So they don't have a traditional AD carry on that team now. Interesting. I don't know where some of the champs are going to go now.
It looks like Silverbacks, they want that Samira, and they will lock in the Samira.
I like the Samira pick. I like it with everything going on here. So we have very different team comps from game number 1. Let's get that straight right now. Both teams made some adjustments, clearly some adjustments here. I expect that for Silverbacks it's pretty straightforward though. Ornn in the top lane, Wukong jungle, Echo mid, and then a Samira Leona bot lane. I'm expecting Rivenev picks the Echo here. For MouthfeeL, it's a little less straightforward. I'm not entirely sure where people are going, other than I'm sure Nunu's the jungler and I'm sure Morgana's the support. But the other 3 can kind of be switched around and moved around for, different effects. So where do you think MouthfeeL has these champions going?
Well, I mean, the Gnar and the Orianna, I feel, at least for myself, are fairly locked in. The Gnar's got to be in the top lane. The Orianna's going to be the mid. Like, I don't think they're going to really play with anything other than that. I am slightly hesitant about where the Morgana and where the Nunu are going.
Yeah. I was almost... Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but I saw Tuba locked in the Gnar, and I was almost hoping that was a Gnar 80 carry. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed it's not a Gnar 80 carry, because that would have been interesting as hell for me to watch.
Yeah, we'll have to see who Mayor of Huevos locks in, because Morgana can jungle. So it'll be very interesting if that ends up being the Nunu down in the bot lane.
Yeah, you're right. I always forget that, Morgana can jungle. I always forget about that, because I never see anybody do it.
But it ends up being the Nunu in the jungle, as most people would expect.
Yep. So it's either the Nico or the Orianna here for Gelati. I would assume Orianna. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
so it is the Orianna.
He will lock in Orianna. He's a very competent Orianna player.
Yep. And there's the Echo.
The Echo.
I want to see Echo make some big plays in mid lane, because I know Rivenev has the skill to do it, and I think against Orianna he can pick his moments and he can really make some explosive plays here.
Yeah, he's just gonna have careful and watch out. Obviously, we're gonna see on the side of MouthfeeL that their jungler is gonna be a little more participant, unlike last game, in ganks and dives.
Yep. The Samira, though, in the bot lane is real cool. I can't wait to see her make some big plays. For those of you that have had the unfortunate experience of playing against a good Samira and getting your ass kicked, it's not fun. So Silverbacks are hoping that Samira pops off here, and MouthfeeL is just kind of hoping and praying that they're able to hold her off. I'm so looking forward to the team fights in this game. MouthfeeL is a very different team identity this time around here with their comp that they've gone with. So team fights should be way more explosive than they were last time, and they were already pretty explosive last game.
Yeah. Unlike last game, I do expect MouthfeeL to be initiating a lot more fights now that they have a jungler that can actually get in there and do damage. Unlike previous game where they brought Ivern, who is a good jungler, just a very completely different playstyle.
Yeah. I almost wonder if MouthfeeL for this team comp, they just decided that they would try to beat Silverbacks at their own game and just also play super aggressive. You know, I have to wonder if that was their thought process with this team comp. Because I wouldn't try to take that bet. I wouldn't, if I'm playing against a team that I have already had experience in one game where they are way more aggressive than my team. I'm not going to try to beat them at that aggressive game. Like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? But maybe that's what they want to do here.
Yeah, you know, in the top lane, who do you favor up there, the Gnar or that Ornn?
I favor the Ornn. I mean, Ornn is just really hard to kill in general. That's just kind of how it's always been. Gnar can kill him. He has the ability to do so with the passive on. I think it's his W, the passive on that one. But you know, just in general, if I want to have a Gnar on my team or an Ornn on my team, and I've got a player that can play either one of those champs, I'm gonna default to the Ornn because he just gives the team such a big boost with that item upgrade passive of his later on in the game. So the longer the game goes on, the better it is for the team that has Ornn on it.
There's also the fact that he can make those items right on the field. He doesn't have to back to buy. We're only really going to see him back when he, you know, is forced back or has some other plan in mind. So long as he's in a secure position and he's not going to get tower dived,
Yeah.
he's not going to have to go back as much as Tuba will with the Gnar.
Yeah. Yeah. Mid lane's going to be really super cool to watch if Vervenev plays hyper aggressive on that Echo. I'm looking forward to seeing some plays there. Bot lane's interesting because it's a Nico Morgana. So they have CC and they have the ability to pull it off, right? They can beat a Samira Leona bot lane. But I just feel like after watching game one, that Samira is gonna pop off. I don't know if this is me thinking too much about the matchup, or maybe I'm a little bit psychic here, but I think this Samira is gonna pop off this game. I think we're gonna see some plays.
Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like they're in a tough situation down there. And if that Wukong chooses to favor bot side, then I think it can be a little bit even tougher. I mean, you know, Morgana does have her spell shield, but like we've said before, she has one.
Yep.
So you use that on the first thing. So you use that on the Leona hook. Something else is going to come in. There's plenty of other ways for them to engage and stop one, if not both.
All right, and we are loading on to Summoner's Rift. Sorry, I had a weird bug on my screen there, but I'm in now.
Yeah, I'm in as well. You know, we're here at the 10-second mark.
And both teams, are we going to see an invade right away, like both teams tried to do last time, or do you think it's going to be more of a spread?
I feel like Silverbacks are going to go for a spread, but as we see, MouthfeeL is rolling up as a 5-man, and
They were
it
spotted.
looked like they wanted to invade, but The Wukong spotted them in the middle.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
All right. So that could have been cool, but, they were spotted out, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's not much they can do now besides just head to their positions.
Let's get synced up, by the way. We forgot to do that.
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay.
Yep.
It looks like we're all synced up. Looks like we're all good to go here. Samira doing a little handstand dance for everybody right there in the bot lane. Doing some flips even. Yeah. I'm super excited to see this game here. I really hope that it's a better matchup this time around, where it's close the whole way through, just more exciting that way. Would like to point out that Nico is going with an AD build down in the bot lane. She picked up Doran's Blade as her first item. She also has lethal tempo for her keystone. So I can't tell if this is genius or madness by Rixie playing Nico like this.
Knowing MouthfeeL, I think it's a little bit of both. But I think they're leaning on the mad side of it, as we see Morgana started with her Q as she missed the hit onto the Leona. Going with a little more offensive build. In the mid lane, the Echo really going in on Orianna. Rivniv has not forgotten what happened last game and is eager to repay the bullying that Gelati did to him.
Ooh. All right, Ayama's going to live because of the heal. Okay.
Yeah, Morgana had to flash. We do see 3 summoners on the side of MouthfeeL get extended.
Yeah, both teams just want to fight. This is super fun to watch so far.
Yeah. We do see, once again, Echo pushing past his wave to try to fight with the Orianna. That time, not going to go as well as the first time, as he ends up taking more damage and is forced to back away.
Now, Nara already recalled up in top lane. Ornn is able to stay in lane because he can just build items as he wants up there. But he had a CS lead when he recalled, so things should be about even when he returns.
Yeah, and he doesn't TP back. Since his wave is in such a far position, by TPing back, he's just going to continue staying up there, and he's going to be exposed.
Bot lane fight breaks out.
Yeah, talk about a fight. Samira already claiming the first kill, but the Nico is going to get back on Leona, but the Samira will get the double kill. Samira's in a bit of danger, though. The Nunu could go for this, but the Samira is pushing him back. Safe play, not to go for the kill, and just let them stay at a 1 kill advantage and not give them the second.
But already an explosive game. 3 kills at 4 minutes. We're on track to have the same bloody series that we already started. So even though the Echo is playing a little bit more aggressive,
flash off of the Gnar to avoid dying to the Ornn charge up there in the top lane.
Yep.
Aggression all across the map.
And even though Echo is being aggressive here, Rivniv is able to play more aggressively than he did last game. It's kind of not paying off as well when you see that the Orianna is still being pretty safe and she has a CS lead at the moment. It's currently over 10. She should be able to recall here, get back to lane, and then the CS differential will be about even at that point because Echo's going to get some kills in the meantime.
And not even that much, because of the way that Gelati set up that wave. Most of those minions just died to the tower there. In the bot lane, the wave is pushing in. The Morgana and the Nico are playing it safe. They're not overcommitting to a all-around aggressive. The Gnar is going to stop that recall by the Ornn. He's on a sliver of health, so he really has to be careful. But luckily, Gnar is not in a good position to dive and go for the kill.
Yeah, and if I was Gnar, I'd be happy with the recall anyway, and
Echo
just get a tower play.
Flank. Have to interrupt you here. He's coming in completely unspotted. He was spotted by a ward in the bush, I think, but they will get out of there safe and sound.
Yep. Good spell shield on the Morgana to save herself.
That could have spelled... If they had missed that spell shield, that could have been disastrous for them.
Could've...
Orianna pushing up. Ooh. The Nunu snowball coming in. They're doing a lot of damage to the Echo. They pull him in. The Wukong is here. And he's going to chase them out. Flash off of the Wukong and the Echo. Oh. They really want to try to confirm this kill under the July. He's been ignited, but he's going to survive.
Jeez, so close.
Silverbacks showing that aggression is the name of the game here, but it doesn't quite pay off yet.
Yeah, just incredible how aggressive both of these teams are trying to play right now, especially for MouthfeeL, because it's completely different from how they played game one. Yeah,
we did see now, once again, the bot lane. They're getting pushed back by that Samira and the Leona. They're not really able to stay all the way up in CS. In the top lane, we do see both laners are now at 6. And
they're
the aggression
even in
seems
CS.
to have stopped for a little bit. Neither wants to fully commit to something right now. But on the side of MouthfeeL, Nunu is up there in that jungle. He's pathed. He could come up for a gank after he deals with his buff.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see some of the CS differentials that we're seeing right now. Gelati, for instance, having a big CS lead over Echo. You know, I guess that's to be expected because Orianna has good wave clear. We all know it. But down in the bot lane, Samira having such a lead, a commanding lead over Nico, I should say, is not surprising at all. Because, like, I would not expect that an AD Nico would work out anyway.
Yeah, we just see Orianna in a bad position. Wukong coming up, but the Orianna is going to get out of there just in time. Oh! The Ornn got the kill under the Gnar up there.
That was such a close fight. It was such a close fight. Yeah, Gnar threw his Q out there, but it hit minions
Big
in front of Ornn. Big
fight down there. Mare of Huevos is going to get locked on by the entirety of Silverbacks down there. And MouthfeeL just a little too scared to go in and save him. Let him die to the combined might of the Leona, Wukong, and Echo.
Yeah, I will say that fight in top lane between Ornn and Gnar, either one of them could have won that. It was that close. I thought Gnar had it too. I thought he had it because he waited for Ornn to stop being immovable so that he could actually ult him into the wall. I thought that was such a good play by the Gnar, but Ornn pulls it off in the end.
Yeah, and we do now see the gold lead in the favor of the Silverbacks, as well as the kill lead. They're 3 kills up.
Yeah, so unlike game number 1 where it was a lot closer than this at this point in game number 1, they have a much bigger lead right here. I wonder if they can keep it up, though. I wonder if they can keep that up, or if MouthfeeL is going to find a fight where, you know, they can even it up again, or even like find a little lead for themselves. They have the capability. They have enough CC in their kits that they could, you know, make a really cool fight happen for themselves and find a way back in.
The Gnar transforming back flashes to avoid the Wukong E. Saves his life, and now the Wukong is going to have to go back down the river.
So Nico, playing AD Nico, I have to question. I mean, I'm questioning the AD Nico already, number 1. But on top of that, so she's building here, obviously a mythic item right away because she bought Noon Quiver. I think she's going to build a Kraken Slayer. I think that's going to be her item, just because she already gets an empowered auto attack as part of her passive for her kit. So I feel like she's just going to get the Kraken Slayer passive of having every 3rd auto attack is empowered on top of that. I think that's her plan with her build.
Yeah. Up there, Ornn popping his ult to try and go after this Gnar, but the Gnar got over the wall just in time, so the ult hitting him isn't going to send him to his death, but the Rift Herald will fall for Silverbacks. The Wukong and the Ornn are going to bring this Shelly down, and Wukong is free to take that anywhere he wants.
Yeah, Nunu comes in to try to make a gank happen, but they're not able to. They're not able to chain the CC.
Yeah, Leona throwing her ult down though is gonna CC both the Nico and the Nunu. And now the Leona's going in on the Morgana, who's got a flash out of there. The root onto the Leona, is she gonna go down? She's been knocked up airborne. Nunu popping, the ult is gonna fall to the Samira. And now Echo is here. Samira getting the double kill onto the Nico. Gnar TP down for this as well. As we see Orianna getting targeted by that Wukong. The stun onto the Echo, he's gonna fall. But the Gnar will fall in exchange. Samira going in again now onto the Orianna is gonna get shut down by the Orianna. But the Wukong gets the double kill! That is a story you can't write there. That wraps up in the favors of the Silverbacks. Slowed, timing his E perfectly to go in and get the double kill. Nunu's gonna come in and try to actually stop him from taking the dragon. Is gonna most likely get this kill. Wukong is really trying out here. His ultimate is down, and he
Nico
will fall
gets the
to
shutdown
Nunu.
gold too.
Leona is trying to get out of there now, and will escape. Nunu and the Nico are not going to chase that. They know better than to run into the jungle while the Samira is up and alive.
Oh, Tuba might be able to chase down Snizzbone.
Oh yeah, Tuba is going very fast, but he'll flash. Is Tuba going to risk it all? Tuba is going to, but he's going to miss it. But there's a fight down in the dragon pit. Snizzbone gets the kill on the Tuba meanwhile. But down in the bottom, the MouthfeeL are going to get the dragon, and the Samira's gonna fall. The Morgana getting the kill onto the Samira, and now they're gonna go in and stun the Echo. Wukong's finally here, but is it enough to save it? Ornn got down here in time. Ornn throwing out his ult and managed to land a hit, but the Leona will fall to the Nico. Another kill for Nico. Ornn is chasing this Nunu, but the Nunu's gonna get out of there. And that Morgana behind enemy lines is going to recall. Is she going to get out in time? Oh, the just misses it by a second. Morgana recalled.
The stuff we're seeing in this game is borderline absurd right now for both of these teams. Oh man, I'm not questioning any of the decision making because it's clearly like, guys, let's fight. We're gonna keep fighting. Go, go, go. But I think it's really, really fun to just see how some of these kills are happening for these teams. You know, Gnar took a risk up in top lane. It just didn't pay off for him, and Ornn ends up getting the kill. Gnar almost got a kill too. That could have been a 1-for-1. But because Ornn lives, he's able to TP into that fight. He's able to help the team out. But still, this game is anyone's game. It's only a 200 gold difference between the two of them.
Notably, Ornn has swapped out the TP now for heal. So he won't have that TP up for a little bit. You know, he's not going to be able to make as much of a play as he did just now.
Yeah,
and
I actually don't even know for sure if he TP'd into that fight because there was so much going on.
Yeah, the Echo is going hard for Orianna, who now that Nunu's here is going to turn around and try to lay the damage. The snowball lands onto the Echo, but Shelly has been brought out. The monkey throwing the Rift Herald down is going to mean that MouthfeeL has to play really defensive here, and they have to try to stop.
Oh, missed the ultimate by Gelati.
Yeah, it has to feel bad as the turret will fall. They get that first tower bonus gold. They're going to continue. Orianna is getting chased after, and Slowed will claim Gelati's life and get the double kill onto the Nunu, all at the cost of Snizzbone.
So they are getting some shutdowns happening here, which helps a little bit. But at the same time, the map pressure goes entirely to Silverbacks here. They now have 2 towers under their belts. while MouthfeeL doesn't have any towers. Granted, they might be able to get top tower here with Gnar pushing up there, so that might help them out a little bit. But the map is really going to open up for Silverbacks now that they took down both outer towers here in mid lane.
And this is kind of the dream for them. I mean, we're looking at the 15-minute mark, and the Wukong, who already has shown that he wants to roam and that he is set on interfering in both top, middle, and bottom lane, without those two mid towers, opened up so much of a path for him.
Now, oh, never mind, fighting bot.
Yeah, the Leona and the Samira taking some of this initial damage. Nunu is going to catch the Wukong, who tried to walk blindly into a fight. The clone onto the Wukong, and the flash is going to get him out of there. That's why you don't go and face check a bush, because you might just find a snowball.
Echo roams down too, but it looks like he's backing off. He just wants to go back to mid lane. So if we look here at the timers, Dragon is up in about a minute. So I can understand neither team taking that fight farther than they did because they don't want to risk being a man down and letting the other team just get a bunch of vision and being able to just let them set up around Dragon. Oh, Nar's going in hard up in top.
Yeah, the stun onto the Ornn. Ornn throwing his ult, gonna try to get the knockup. He's now gonna go into the Gnar, but the Gnar is going to get the kill on the Snizbone.
That was also a close fight. If Gnar and Ornn, and he dies to the minions.
What a way to go. You feel bad, and you just gotta feel a little bit embarrassed.
If the fights in the top lane continue to be this close, we're just gonna have to flip a coin for every single one of these fights to figure out how it's going to go until it's actually over.
Now, both top laners will have teleport up for this fight. And it looks like both teams are dead set on fighting for this second dragon. We are going to see the TP coming in from Snizbone. He's eager to get into this fight. As there's a lot going on. It's almost too much to handle. The Nunu is going to get targeted out there and brought down. The CC on the side of Silverbacks is going to stop MouthfeeL from doing much as they're going to get chased back.
Ooh.
They almost kill Samira there. She gets a sliver of help, but they can't really chase after her. They just sort of have to back off and maybe hope that Silverbacks aren't in a position to take the Drake at the second there. That was almost too fast to see what was going on. Both teams just exploded into action there.
Yeah, you're not kidding. One thing I would like to point out is now that Nico does have the Kraken Slayer and we saw it in use in a team fight, it does stack really well with Nico's passive already in her kit. The flash! What a flash by Echo to escape a death there. Nice work, Vrivniv.
Yeah, we see the snowball targeted for that Samira. Nunu really wants to shut down and kill this Samira. But the flash over the wall means that she's going to get away.
But yeah, as I was saying,
the dragon falls to MouthfeeL actually.
Yeah, they got the dragon in the middle of the fight. But as I was saying about Nico and the Kraken Slayer, it is stacking with her passive in her kit. She's going on hit Nico, and it will be doing damage because she almost killed Samira in that last team fight just with the Kraken Slayer. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Nico in action now that I understand what her build is, what her plan is here.
Yeah, Gnar in the bot lane tried to hop over the Ornn hole, but shot it a little too early, and instead's going to fall to the Wukong, who's going to get some gold for that.
All right, dropping Shelly here in mid. Should be able to take this mid tower down. They'll make it even in towers with 2 apiece here.
Yeah, and let's see. They might even... They're going to back off. They're not going to push for the second one. They're going to let Shelly die, because they can't really take this fight right now. They're only a 4-man, and in the 4v4, I favor Silverbacks right now, not to mention that Ornn has now made his way up and makes it a 5v4. Charging in, he's going to take a good brunt of that damage. His nose is going to get bloodied, but MouthfeeL's going to back off and not really take any real fight there.
Yep. Looking at both teams here, every single player has finished a mythic item at this point. They're all moving on to their next items in their builds. We can guess by Nico's items that she's going for Rage Blade next, which is what you'd expect from her. We can kind of guess with Wukong here. He does have a Hex Drinker, so don't know if he'll actually finish the Maw, or if he's just going to keep Hex Drinker in his items here for a while before upgrading it. We'll see.
Notably, Ornn has hit that crucial level 13 and has upgraded his mythic into the Forge Fire Crest.
So the next item he would upgrade is probably, I mean, like, he's got some options, right? Because you could pick the Hex Tech Rocket Belt for Echo. You could pick the Gore Drinker for Wukong. You could pick the Shield Bow for Samira. Either way, I think you're helping the team out because of how much they like to fight with everybody just going in at once.
Yeah, if I'm taking bets on this, I think he's going to favor that Gore Drinker. The Wukong has just been able to do a lot more for the team. Than, not that Rivnev isn't doing much for the team, but the Wukong is the one getting in there and getting those kills.
Yeah, absolutely.
And upgrading that Gore Drinker is just going to further enable him.
Yep, absolutely. We have yet to see a really big, huge Orianna ultimate out of Gelati. So, you know, we'll have to see if he's able to pull something like that off coming up here. Tuba's made some mistakes, we're not going to lie here. Having two really unfortunate deaths on Gnar that could have been avoided. So maybe he'll keep playing the way he's playing and just keep that same level of aggression up, or maybe he'll pull back a little bit because of those deaths. Not sure how he's handling that
getting
mentally.
Caught in a rotate, trying to get back to the bottom side. The rest of MouthfeEL's going to run up here and try to get up here, but the Nunu is falling down really fast. They know that if they can take the jungle down before this dragon comes up, then it's almost guaranteed for them. The Ornn coming in is going to knock up Gelati. That's really unfortunate there that he was left behind. But you'd rather lose the mid laner than the jungler when Dragon is 20 seconds away.
But they're going for Baron first, actually.
I think this is actually a better play. You know, they're not crucially pressed for the Dragon right now. And they can make a lot of map pressure by taking this Baron.
If I was MouthfeeL, I would do exactly what they're doing right now and just saying, hey, you know what? We can burn Dragon down real quick. We'll take Dragon here while they take Baron. We're okay with that.
Yeah. MouthfeEL, the moment they got to that pit and saw no one was there, had to have known that they were on the Baron. And at that point, it's too late to try to turn around. You just have to commit to what you're doing.
Yeah, not to mention that they knew for a fact that they were doing Baron because the Rift Bug, the Scuttle Bug in the river here was taken earlier. So they did know that they were on Baron. They were able to see them.
Yeah.
So good decision making.
Spread. Silverbacks spreading to try to take that Baron buff and make full use of it to all these lanes. They're most likely going to really try to take down these top and bottom towers to catch up with the middle.
Yeah, Gelati, not Gelati, Tuba, I wouldn't try to fight this if I were you with the Baroned up minions there hitting you. I wouldn't keep trying to do this.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. He's buying time, but it's not enough. He has to flash away to avoid dying. And Echo's going to claim the bot tower, and now that top tower will also fall.
Yep, just making the most out of this Baron buff right away.
Tuba did buy a lot of time. The rest of his team was able to sort of get positioned up and around to other places. So it wasn't a full loss for them. And he did get away with his life.
He did get away with his life. Okay,
we do actually see another Ornna upgrade come through. And it is on the Gore Drinker. And it's on Samira as well. Now making a Ceaseless Hunger for Wukong and a Blood Ward for Samira.
Yep, both excellent names for items. I like that. But this makes fights even harder for MouthfeeL now, seeing as the Silverbacks were able to already have a lead of nearly 4,000 here. Nearly 5,000. It's going to be even harder now because they didn't have to buy those items. They didn't use any of their gold lead to buy those items. They just got that as a free upgrade. Even harder now at this point. They have to play these fights really carefully, or they have to pick somebody off when they're by themselves. They have to go for one of those two things.
Yeah, now we do see a lot of players concentrated down here on the bot lane. On the side of Silverbacks, they really want to take this tower, but MouthfeeL doesn't want to give it up. They want to make them commit to it and fight on their terms, which right now I'm favoring MouthfeeL if the players on Silverbacks tried to just dive that tower right now. But we do see the Ornn and the Echo finally, like, finishing up in the mid lane. They're trying to get down to the bot lane to assist, but this Gnar from Tuba is being a bit of a pest.
A little bit of a pest.
The bot lane tower will finally fall, as most players on MouthfeeL are now rotating to the bottom fully. We see the snowball come in onto the Wukong, but it was not the real one. It was a clone. And now we see the Ornn ult coming in. There's a lot of fight going on. The Nunu is in the midst of it all, has to flash to get out of there, but he's going to fall to Vrivniv. The Ignite going to get the kill. Wukong charging in, popping that ult. Nico on a rampage with the kill onto the Echo. The double kill onto the Leona. And now,
okay,
the
this is good.
The Baron buff's gone. They really can't push here, as Tuba will fall to the Samira. They're pushing back and getting a little greedy, and the double kill.
Oh no!
The Samira cleaning house with a quadra kill.
Oh, you guys got too greedy. You got too greedy. Should have been happy that you were ahead.
And as you mentioned, that's the power of Samira.
200 years. So yeah, it started off being they lost Nunu, but they were able to kill 2 of the members of Silverbacks. And at that point, you should just be happy at that, because when you're behind in a game, you need to go for trading kills evenly, or you might get lucky and you'll be in a situation like they were in where you actually got more kills than the team that was ahead. You need to be happy about that and keep riding the game out, keep extending the game a little bit, because you can't risk letting them kill you more. You have to take whatever little leads you can get.
Exactly. Now, the dragon is going to be up in 15 seconds. Silverbacks can't really do anything. They have to go to this dragon, because otherwise it's going to be a soul for MouthfeeL. As already a fight goes down, the Echo and the Wukong backing out, but now Ornn and Leona are both here, and crucially, Samira has just walked on the scene. The dragon is up. MouthfeeL staying together. The snowball knocking up 3 of them. Nunu going in. Ornn ult coming out. The horn. Are they going to be able to interrupt it? They do stop it, but the smear gets the Nunu. The double kill onto the Morgana. They're really chasing down the triple kill onto the Orianna and the kill onto the Gnar.
Yeah, I have to think that this game is basically over at this point, with Ornn teleporting into the base, or no, sorry, not the base, with Ornn teleporting down to bot lane just to push into the base faster. You know, I have to assume this game's basically over at this point. Samira's following him in there. The rest of the team is on their way. They want to just keep pushing for the win here.
Yeah, I mean, Samira got online, and there's nothing that MouthfeeL can do about it. Hui is played this really well the entire game and is now at the point where he's dominating the game, but the Ornn will die to the tower. So it's a little bit of a moral victory for the side of MouthfeeL, as they're going to lock in and they're going to try to keep going down, but the Leona blocks for the Samira. Oh man, the Samira ult goes in and starts forcing the rest of MouthfeeL back. They're stuck on that platform, as the core is definitely going to fall. The turret goes down. The final bastion, the last stand that MouthfeeL can do. There's a lot of minions, and the minions are going to do it.
Man, I thought Tuba was going to get one last Gnar ultimate off, but nope. Too many minions there. They were able to take down the Nexus, and Silverbacks finished the first match of the series going 2-0.
Yeah, what an impressive showing from the side of Silverbacks there. They really carried their advantage from the early game all the way to the late game. And the moment that Samira was online, during those team fights, there was nothing MouthfeeL could do.
Absolutely not. It's kind of unfortunate for MouthfeeL. I mean, this is a better team comp than they picked for game one. You know, they realized the mistakes that they made with with their comp in that first game, and they tried to correct those. But I think going for the Nico 80 carry with Lethal Tempo going on hit with that Kraken Slayer and the Rage Blade, and continuing the build like that. I think that's kind of a mistake, though. I feel like if they had just picked Vayne instead of Nico, they would have had more of a chance in this game. You know, the Vayne would have been able to take out Ornn pretty quickly. The Vayne would have been able to fight basically everybody on that team and give them a much better chance of actually taking game number two. But I think they outsmarted themselves going with the Nico 80 carry.
Yeah, sometimes unfortunately you get a little crafty and you end up missing.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get any of those players from Silverback for a post game interview.
Yeah, we would love to do a post game interview. Silverback, if there is a player that would like to come in here and be interviewed, send them in. We would love to talk about this series and ask a few questions.
Yeah.
Any volunteers?
But meanwhile, while we try to set that up, just taking a look at some of the details for this game, the Samira coming through with 28,000 damage onto champions.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. That's what you have to watch out for with Samira. And I will say I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the 80 carry's name, but I think it's just impressive that I think that was one of the most not cautious, but like reserved, biding your time, picking your moments kind of Samira that I've seen. Most Samiras that I have seen play the game are just hyper aggressive from as soon as the game starts, right? But he played the game incredibly smart, bided his time, picked his moments, and he popped off because of that, because he knew exactly when to go in and just destroy everybody in those team fights. I have word from our producer here that Rivnev is going to be the guy to do the post game interview. Really excited to talk to Rivnev, pick his brain about how those games went. Speaking of which, he's right here. Rivnev, welcome. How are you feeling after that series?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Yeah, I mean, I got carried both games, but yeah, let's go.
Congratulations on the
Yeah.
double win. I'm very curious. Compared to in the first game, right off the bat, Gelati was not letting up.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I played against the Karthus, so I mean, he surprised me with the damage, and then I was just like, "What the fuck?" Or I was like, "What the hell? Like, what do I do?" Like, I don't know. He just pretty much like crapped all over me. That was a really good solo kill. I didn't expect that damage. I think it's like the Q does more damage when it's like not hitting any other targets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is how it goes.
I don't remember the last time I played against Karthus, so it surprised me. But yeah, I adapted. I had to just build safe, and then kind of affected my damage output, but I didn't really die that much after that.
Yeah, so I have to ask here, going into the series after scouting them all week, did you feel like this is how the games were going to go? Did you feel pretty confident that your team was going to be able to beat these guys? And to go along with that, after game number one, what was the feeling like heading into game two, as far as what your plan was to finish out the series?
Yeah, scouting. I mean, we weren't really worried. I mean, we had like kind of like picks for everything. Like, so we'd done over like draft scenarios like before the game. Like, we were pretty prepared for like if they decided to play pocket picks. We had it. We knew what we needed to ban to. I think our bans were spot on. I don't know how much it affected their games, but like our bans, but it was yeah. And then in between after the game one, we kind of just realized that the Karthus was annoying, but it's pretty easily like you could play around it pretty easy if you just kill him and then run away and then fight again after. So that's pretty much, if you watch that game again, the first game, that's pretty much what we did. We just killed him, ran away, and then fought again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was just really impressive to watch you guys in every single fight. And we basically got the feeling after game number one that your team's entire identity is all about, we're going to fight as much as possible, and we're just going to make the other team really tired of fighting us all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try to fight over almost every objective. Like we'll always try to pressure Drakes as soon as we have prio, and we'll just take the 5v5, and we'll usually just try to draft a better team comp for 5v5. and skirmishing sometimes. I guess that's what we try to do the second game.
Now, throughout the games, both games, it became very clear that as the games were going on, especially starting in the beginning, your team's jungler was
Yeah.
just able to help out both your top lane and your bot lane so much more than
Yeah, he's
MouthfeeL.
really good. He's definitely one of my favorite people to play with. He's one of my good friends. Like he's really good. He's kind of a troll, but he's good. Yeah. Yeah, he kind of took over both games, eh? Like even though Lilia was so oppressive, he would just like go in and get a sleep on usually the Karthus, which was what we needed, and then all of our follow-up damage would usually just one-shot him. And then the second game, I think he got like the triple kill bot lane, and it was kind of just over from there. Like Wukong with Gore Drinker and Lilia's just strength in general. So those are we usually try to play meta shit, and yeah, he popped off on both.
Now, mentioning that you play meta stuff, when you saw the drafts that MouthfeeL was coming through with, were there any sort of reactions that you had? Any shocked, or were you confident going in after seeing their draft?
Well, in the first game, I think we were shocked about the Cho'Gath. Like it was just kind of like, okay, like we had Kled, which has innate healing reduction. Like it was a good tank, I guess. I just think they could have picked a better tank. Warren probably would have been better there. But and then I was kind of surprised by Nico AD. Like I don't know. It seemed decent though. Like I couldn't kill it on Echo. I couldn't kill him. So it was shocking. But other than that, we kind of banned like all the other meta stuff that they played that we were scared of. Like Vexa, I think, is pretty OP right now with Prowler's Claw. I'm sure that's what Huevos plays. And I think what else did we ban? We banned Jhin because we picked it game 1. It's pretty busted too.
Yep.
And then I was surprised that they didn't pick Samira, so we just picked the last pick on red. And then the third ban was what did we ban third?
Olaf.
Oh, Olaf. Yeah, that's another like Gore Drinker bruisers are scary, especially Olaf. There's nothing you can do to peel him. So I think as soon as we banned those 3, we were pretty confident going into the draft. Like no matter what they picked, as long as those 3 champs were gone, we could win.
Well, once again, congratulations on the double victory. I'm eager to see how you guys continue to compete in your coming games.
GG's, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, everybody, that will be it for today for the Casual Esports Amateur League. Game 1 is in the bag. It's done. It's out of the way. And look forward to seeing some more games as the season progresses here on the Twitch channel. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully, we'll be watching all of your games on the stream coming up here. Good luck to everybody this season. Otherwise, have a great day. See you later, everyone.
Have a good night.